Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Chamber Podcast. We have a great show for you today. We're actually welcoming back a previous organization here in Michigan. So joining me from Michigan Works Southeast, Dawn and Will. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So Dawn, this is your return appearance on the podcast. So you liked it so much, you wanted to come back and do another one. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So what's been new at Michigan Works since the last time I talked to you, which was about 2 years back?
Well, we're finally through COVID. So the nice thing is we're busier than we were all through COVID, and after that period, we were pretty slow. And so things have picked up. So that's been really good.
Excellent. Excellent. So Dawn, just for the listeners that may have missed that episode, why don't you give a brief rundown to your background and position at work at Michigan Works?
So my name is Dawn Awrey, and I'm the Service Center Manager with Michigan Works Southeast. And so I run the Howell location. We actually have 5 locations. We have Livingston County, Washtenaw, Jackson, Hillsdale, and Lenawee County are our 5 counties. And so we cover that whole region. Yeah, I guess I just kind of do everything that comes along all day long.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, this is your first time on the show.
Yep. I've been with Michigan Works a year this month.
Okay. And what is your position? What's a day in the life like for Will at Michigan Works?
Wow. So I'm officially business services for Livingston County. Day to day, it changes. My primary job is going out and working with businesses to try to help find them grant money to subsidize new hires and training programs for existing hires. That's primarily what I do, but with the challenge right now, we've got a lot of companies, Livingston County, probably all throughout Michigan, that are really looking for help. We've got more jobs than we have people that want to do them. So, I may be going out talking to a company about a grant and helping them that way, but they're like, that's great, but I need headcount. So then we get in and talk about, okay, how can we help you out? Maybe hiring some people that are local, or how can we maybe get some external resources to help you out find talent?
So what does that look like for a business from a recruiting perspective? So they'll come to you and say, hey, the grant money is great, helping building these training programs is great, but we need to actually get quality people in the door. Do you guys help with that endeavor as well?
Yeah. So that's really where me and Dawn work closely together. A lot of times it's going in that first meeting as kind of a discovery session to see what are some of the challenges that you're having currently. Again, the biggest one is just finding talent. And, sometimes it might be, what are you paying? Are you current with the wages in Livingston County? Are you paying enough to be competitive? And we'll help them with that, do wage studies and whatnot. And then typically I'll get the job descriptions, see what they're looking for, and then I'll work with Dawn's team on the career services side to help market those jobs. As we do have people coming in the service center that are out of work or maybe want to do a job change, Dawn's team will kind of help work with me to pair someone coming maybe off the street for another position or another opportunity.
Okay. How much do you guys collaborate on a week-by-week basis?
Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys are both out of the Howell office?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would it look like? What's a traditional business coming to you for? And then how do they, is it a partnership that's in perpetuity? Is it short-lived? What does that look like?
They can come to us in different ways. A lot of times, business may be calling in I think a lot of times Michigan Works gets branded as a staffing company.
Yeah.
We can help with that, but we're not a true pure play staffing company. So a lot of times they're thinking that. And, when they call in, I'll usually have a conversation with them on the phone. The goal is usually to get out. I'm kind of old school. I like to go out and meet face to face. And again, seeing what their needs are. So it may be a call in. Sometimes it's just networking within the community. I'm involved with a lot of the chamber, Heartland, Brighton, Howell. And, through those chamber events, I may meet a customer that's like, look, I need some help. Someone referred you out. And then it's like, okay, let's talk. Let's set up an appointment and see what I can do to get plugged in and help you out.
Okay. And then on the career services side, is that more qualifying the talent and matching it with the business then?
Yeah, for the most part. So some of our programs, if money follows someone, like if we have grant money that we can pay for training or on-the-job training with an employer, we have to have them eligible. They have to be eligible for that funding. So we do that. Or if we're just helping somebody get into a job and we're not actually going to pay for anything, that's just a free service we provide. So people will come in the door for various reasons. Either they lost their job, they need to. If you are on unemployment or you have applied for unemployment, you have to go to a Michigan Works to register for work. So there's where a lot of our talent pool comes from. They come in, we get them registered, and then we tell them all about the services that we have available, and that we work with employers and try to match them with jobs and see what they're looking for. Do they want to make a job change? Are they going to go back to that same job? Do they want to make a complete career change and just do a 180, and we can help them retrain?
Very good. And what's the smallest business size that you guys work with from a headcount perspective?
I was talking with someone today at a chamber event, and she just got started, just a startup company, and one employee. So we really don't put a size limit on it.
Okay.
It can go anywhere from somebody that's running it, one-man show, all the way up to large organizations that, maybe over 1,000 people.
And is there a need on that size as well? So even companies that are that large are still having a hard time getting people in the door and building training programs and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And the one benefit to working with us is it can help your business grow, because there's funding that we have that the employers can use in order to help grow their business. So if you know that you might be able to hire somebody, but you need a little extra dollars to help train, we have on-the-job training, we have incumbent worker training, we have a bunch of different grants that are out there. Going Pro, you know those better than I do. You can probably rattle them all off.
Yeah. And, we try to look at it holistically too. A lot of times when I'm out with a customer, their initial challenge is, they do need help finding somebody to run the day-to-day business and whatnot. But in the course of that, you may find, I've had numerous customers where I went out and we got to looking at their website. And it's like, I'm not an SEO person, but I've been doing business long enough to know, hey, you might need some help on some of that. Let me put you in touch with a local media company that can maybe help you with some of those problems. And again, that's where you get into the discovery, talking with a customer and finding out, okay, maybe we go into this thinking you only have one issue, but you come out with 5 different takeaways. And we act as a conduit within the community to help them network and partner up with companies. Maybe that's outside of our lane that can help them out.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. You guys are looking at it from a consultative perspective. Like, here's what, potential employees are looking for. And if you don't have a proper portal or you don't explain the benefits of working there, it can be a challenge to recruit people and to get people to stay there, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of challenges in Livingston. It's a great county. But I think part of it is just no one staying in your lane. We have a lot of challenges with childcare, affordable housing. Those aren't things me and Dawn could fix overnight or fix it all, but we do try to work with other organizations that we can pair someone up with, or at least get some knowledge out there and some awareness.
Yeah, if you guys could fix affordable housing in Livingston County, they'd be back in the money truck up to your house right now. It's insane out there.
It is.
I do not envy the first-time home buyer right now.
Yeah.
It's a wild time. So with that, if we look at the current economy and where people are at from an employment perspective, there really is power to the employees right now because there's so much choice. When you have that much choice, if you're a good candidate and you're well qualified, you can kind of sit and call your shots, right?
I just said to my daughter yesterday, she's looking for a new job. I'm like, Julie, you can also interview that employer. You decide, do you want to work there? Make sure you're working for somebody good.
Yeah, they should. I encourage, even when we do a hiring cycle here, I want people to interview us just as much as I'm interviewing you, because if this isn't something that you want, I'd rather know quickly. That way we can just move on, and there's really no harm at all in doing that. You need to make sure that you're working with a company that you can see a future with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'd say employers, from my perspective, I do quite a bit of consulting with businesses and whatnot. It's something that they're becoming more aware of. having a hiring process that's attractive and explaining the values and explaining the benefits of why someone ought to work there. And it goes far beyond just the normal, hey, we're honest and we have integrity. Well, I hope so. We need a little bit more deep than that if we could. And we're starting to see more employers craft their hiring, especially at a small business level, to that specific employee or potential employee that's in the market.
Yeah.
And for you guys, one quick follow-up on that. For you guys, is there a time where you go into a business and you're like, all right, we have to rebuild everything and burn this thing to the ground and start over?
For me, I think there are definitely some. I try to get a feel for the customer, and let that kind of drive the conversation. Some of those, again, it's knowing when to be in your own lane and what you can fix and what not. You were kind of talking and referring back to the opportunities with candidates, and do you want to work here? You should. There's a lot of opportunity out in Livingston County right now. There's a lot of jobs, and people are pretty savvy to it, especially a lot of people coming out of high school. And I think it's just good that they know all the opportunities out there. Traditionally, college has always been pushed, which is a good thing. Definitely, I went to college, but there are other opportunities as well, like apprenticeships. We were just talking earlier about LaFontaine. There's programs like that can benefit someone. I think the challenge is just a lot of the younger generation don't know about all those opportunities, and sometimes they feel stuck.
Yeah. Well, I see that a lot as well. And I think a lot of times mentors or people that might be in a leadership position make the wrong call too quickly. You need to go to college. You need to go in the trades. You need to do this. It's like, well, you need to just shut up and talk to them about what do they want.
Yeah, right.
What do they want to do?
Point.
Because if you're pushing someone into a box that they don't want to fit in 2-3 years, they're going to look back and be like, damn, that was a bad decision. And a lot of it's just slowing down and having that conversation of like, what do you actually want? And then finding a path that fits to that if it's available, right?
Oh, yeah. We see it often. Parents push kids into a certain thing that they want, and the kid just follows suit, and then they show up in our office. Oh, I don't really like that. Or they dropped out of college, so they just wasted 2 years doing something they're never going to pursue. So we put them through like a career type thing where they can answer a bunch of questions and try to figure out, hey, is this for me? Is this not?
Yeah.
So before we ever put them in training.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's something that's more common because my daughter will be 10 this summer. And even like when we're out and about and people are like, oh, what do you want to go to school for? It's like, well, I don't even know that she's going to go to college. Like, we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. So I could go back and do it again. I wouldn't. I did my MBA and it's still not like there's better options that were out there at the time that I just was completely oblivious to. So it's if it fits, great. But if it doesn't, there's no reason to force it either.
Yeah. We're expecting, I think, high school seniors to come out and know exactly what they want to do at 18. And, you think about the three of us here, been out in the workforce for quite a while. How many times have you pivoted in your career?
Yeah.
And it's like, do you really need to know what you want to do at 18? Maybe you have a roadmap a little bit, but I guarantee in the next 5 years, you're going to change what you're doing. And we shouldn't put it so much pressure, I think, on, that kind of demographic coming out of high school to know exactly what you want to do. Go out and try different things. Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like, would you want 40 years in a career that you hate or 25 years in an awesome career?
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to wait. I did 6 years in the medical field, made a hard pivot into business. And, I don't regret any of that. It was, kind of led me to where I'm at. So.
Yeah, that's where we try to get in and talk to employers about apprenticeship programs and the advantages to them, and then go out and promote that within the community. Paid work experiences or internships. There's a lot of different pathways that someone can meet their goal other than going to college. And if college is for you, great, but get people educated.
Yeah, justify it.
Yeah.
So what's the big thing that you want people to know about Michigan Works as we're going into the summer? A lot more jobs are opening up right now. What are a couple things that you want people to take away from the podcast that they can come to Michigan Works for?
Well, we have our business services side and our career services side. So on the career service side is we're a free service. Say that again. We are a free service, so we can help anyone regardless of their education. If you've got 3 master's degrees and a doctorate and you still want to do something different, we can help you with even the simplest thing of, well, it's not simple, but doing your resume. I mean, things change as time goes on, so you want to make sure your resume is up to date for today's standards so that when it gets scanned by a computer, you get to the top. Or if somebody's eyes actually fall on it, it looks good to them that they want to interview you. So it's a free service. We have funding that we can help pay if you're eligible. We do have an eligibility for some of our services. So if we're going to pay for someone to take training, they have to be eligible. But that's really the biggest thing. We're for anyone that is looking for a job or wants to transition to something different.
Very good. And you had mentioned something too that I didn't want to gloss over because it's important. I don't know if people think about it. Like the amount of AI that's used in sorting resumes is incredible. Yes. And most people don't think about that. Talk about that for a minute, Dawn.
So it's different. I hate to show my age, but when I was younger, literally we had a piece of paper and we would drop it off at an employer. And now it's, everywhere across the country. Anybody can apply for a job. So there are a lot more people that can apply for those jobs that someone really wants, and the computers are going to scan it, and they're going to pick out keywords. So it's a really big thing to tailor your resume to fit the job description of the job that you're applying for. So it's no longer just, here's my one resume, I'm one and done. That's not going to work anymore. Or one
cover letter. It's like, dear business owner, I'm excited about this potential opportunity. It's like, nope, sorry.
And you can have AI write that resume for you too. But one thing I would like to caution people is if you do that, be sure to read it over because it will leave little things in here. Insert whatever here. And so people will send those in. It's like, well, clearly AI did that and they didn't read it over.
Or Google gave them a false PhD.
Yeah.
It's like, I see here you have a doctorate. It's like, whoops, I don't.
Yep. And so AI is big in the world of resume.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tool, and you should use it well and not use it lazily. Absolutely.
Yep, but also come see us because we can help you through that as well so that you've got the best resume that you could possibly have because you want to get that. If you want that job, you want to get that interview, and then you got to go sell yourself.
100%. Will, on the business side, anything else for a wrap today?
Just for businesses that are out in the community to know that we do have available grants to help upskill your employees, new and current. Mm-hmm. I'm one person here in Livingston, so big part of my job is kind of evangelizing that we have these programs, just for businesses to know that. And you were talking about what size businesses you work with. It's small, large. We don't discriminate against those. We're here to help you out. A lot of times, when someone's applying for a grant, they can feel that's pretty daunting and intimidated by it. So a lot of times I'm there at the site walking them through it. It isn't that bad. It's pretty easy. So we just want to put them at ease about that and have an awareness out in the community.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you both for taking the time to walk our listeners through what's available for businesses that are looking to grow and maybe some employees that are looking to find the right training opportunities to get to the right place.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Chamber Podcast. I certainly appreciate you watching. If you want to know more about Michigan Works, be sure to check out the show notes for this podcast. All of the relevant information is there. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next week. Take care.